Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about another Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. It is the sequel to American Ninja. Kino Lorber also put out its sequel, American Ninja 2: The Confrontation. This movie, in my opinion, is the more fun of the two. American Ninja is a classic, I love it, but this one's just a little bit more fun. It's campier as well, and I'll go into that later. Now, here, Michael Dudikoff returns as Joe Armstrong, and Steve James returns as Curtis Jackson, and the director, Sam Furstenberg, also returns. So, I think what helps this movie is they worked together on the first American Ninja, then they made a movie called Avenging Force, which is another great movie, and then they came back to do American Ninja 2. So they were clicking on all cylinders at this point, and I think that really shows on the screen here. The cast is rounded out by Larry Poindexter. He plays Charlie. And then Gary Conway plays the Lion. He's the main villain, and he also had a hand in writing the movie. And then Michelle Boats plays Alicia. She plays the love interest for Joe, and she's the daughter of one of the professors who's a scientist on Blackbeard Island, where the fortress where the Lion has all his ninjas. Now, this movie starts out, it has a similar formula to American Ninja, but it starts out is Armstrong and Jackson fly into the island, and they are there, and they're Army Rangers, but they're sent to a Marine base. So it's a little awkward for them, for both sides. The Marines don't know quite what to make of them, and Armstrong and Jackson are uncomfortable. But they find out what's happening because they were called in because some of the Marines have been disappearing, and one of the local boys who does hustles around there and runs errands and tries to make some money, he saw some of the Marines just suddenly disappear, and he sees men, giant guys in black suits, and Armstrong and Jackson are like, oh great, we know what that means. So after they arrive, some of the Marines said, well, we get to know each other better, let's go water skiing. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? This is kind of unconventional, but we'll do it. So they go out there, and they go to an island, and one of the Marines with them, Taylor, who you find out his wife is being held hostage on Blackbeard Island. They're holding his wife, and so he has to keep setting his fellow Marines up, even though he really doesn't want to. So he strands them on the island, and Armstrong and Jackson start looking around the island, think something's off, and here come the ninjas, and the action begins. And here, this time, there are more ninjas than ever, and Joe Armstrong really knows all his skills now, so he has no trouble dispensing with the ninjas, and then Jackson comes in to help on, he dispenses the ninjas as well. So now the bad guys call Taylor, and they're like, who are these guys? Because one of them could almost be a ninja, and they took out our guys easily. Who are they? And he's like, they're Rangers, not Marines. They came in, to help out. And so Armstrong knows Taylor's up to something, and he confronts him. And eventually, Taylor is killed by one of the ninjas, but not before he told Joe Armstrong what's happening. Like, there's doing secret biological research on Blackbeard Island, and they're basically engineering these ninjas. They don't tell him too much, but the Lion's this powerful drug dealer, and he's using that money to create ninjas. So he's also on the verge of creating a super ninja, so he has to be stopped because he's becoming more powerful and more ruthless, and so he's really gonna become super powerful all over the world. His presence will be felt. So it's up to Armstrong and Jackson to stop him. And they run into a woman named Alicia Sanborn, whose father, Professor Sanborn, is against his will helping the Lion create these ninjas. And so she tells Joe about this, and they go to Blackbeard Island. And then Joe is there, and the Marines are back at the base, and eventually Jackson first, we got to go help them. And then there's a big, invasion, armies, they come in, and there's ninjas everywhere, and there's this cool island fortress, and everything, it's a really big movie. And it's also, I talked about the campier tone. There's some bar fights, and you could tell the cast was having a blast here. I mean, you heard like bowling pin sounds, like a bowling ball hitting pins. There was all kinds of stuff. So it gets kind of, that's the campier side, but it's also a lot of fun. So it really works for this movie. So this movie is bigger, more action, more fun, and also campier. And like I said, the Steve James, Michael Dudikoff, Sam Furstenberg team was really clicking here, and that can really be felt, like I said. So everything here works really well, and there's also a song called Move to the City. It was from Guns N' Roses right before they broke it big, I believe. If they were about to break it big, I'm not sure, but they were very early in their career, so that's a little tidbit for this. Now, to talk about the transfer itself, I read on Blu-ray.com that this transfer is about the same as Olive Films, and I think the source material must have been damaged or something was with it, because during the beginning of the film there's certain scenes, like in the opening where their motorcycles are going around the mountain on the island. Pretty grainy, kind of fuzzy picture. I'm like, this isn't an improvement over the DVD, and not much over the original VHS I had all those years ago. So very grainy. And then it gets a little better in certain scenes in the first half of the movie, but it's kind of inconsistent. It gets back to a little bit fuzzy, and then it's really clear and very vibrant. But then in the second half of the movie, it's much more consistent and a great picture all around, and the sound is consistent throughout it. It's a very punchy sound, so you get to hear all the swords and cuts and punches, so that's all very clear, and the dialogue is crisp and clear. But the picture, it must be the source material, because it didn't bother me too much once I got used to it, but I did notice in that first half of the movie there's going to be different shots where you can see something was up, so maybe it was something with the source material. Now, let's look at the artwork here. Artwork here is cover slip and basic Kino Blu-ray here. And I think a lot of this was ported over from the Olive Films, if not all of it. It was audio commentary by director Sam Furstenberg and stunt coordinator B.J. Davis. Audio commentary by director Sam Furstenberg, moderated by filmmaker, editor Elisha Drenner. And I know for a fact this one was ported over the American Ninja in Cape Town, the making of American Ninja 2, and a theatrical trailer. So, not too much here. And I had this edition on a DVD combo pack with American Ninja 3, so it made sense for me to upgrade, but I think if you have the Olive Films Blu-ray, you're probably fine. You can go ahead and stick with that, unless you want the different artwork. That's up to you, but I just wanted to give you a pointer on that. But overall, I'm glad I picked this up. This movie is a blast. This is one of those movies where there's never a bad time to pick it up. If I can't think of what I want to watch, I can always grab this, and I'll be happy every time. So let me know in the comments what you think of American Ninja 2 compared to this one. This one is my favorite entry of the series. Which one is yours? Let me know any of that in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.